I hope your May showers bring many flowers. Today, we're going to be talking about two stories set on water, two worlds on the open sea. Both stories open up with a girl in captivity. In The Wind Waker, a girl with long ears is being stolen by a giant bird. She is in the grip of its claws when a pirate ship shoots it out of the sky. She's dropped into the woods on the other side of the island from Link's house. In The Heart of Dread, it is a girl with tiger eyes being held captive. She hears a voice telling her she needs to get out of there right now, and she manages to make her escape. The girl with the tiger eyes makes it to the frozen wastelands of New Vegas to conceal herself and hide out as a blackjack dealer. She decides to name herself Natasha Castell, but everybody just calls her Nat. And that voice is still with her, telling her she has to keep going, that she has to find the blue, the only place in the world that isn't frozen. But the blue is a myth. Everybody knows that, except the ones with marks on their skin, the ones that can use magic, the ones that are being hunted. Nat is one, and she thinks she's for sure been found when her casino floor is bombed and soldiers of the RSA, the remaining United States, attack. But the contacts covering her tiger eyes are enough to keep her concealed, and she remains safe. But now, more than ever, she knows it's time to get out of there. Her boss, the man who took her in when nobody else would, has a blue stone that the voice in her head is saying is special somehow. The voice wants her to kill him for it. She can't do that, but she somehow convinces him to give it to her without a second thought. And just in time, too, because that very night he is stolen from his room, his cries for help ignored. His room is ransacked, something being searched for, the stone. It seems to be a map to the blue. She has to go. Enter Ryan Wesson, or just Wes to his friends. Wes is a mercenary pirate taking whatever job he can get his grimy hands on to feed his crew. He acts a lot more suave than he is, when he's really just a 16-year-old kid tired of being cold. He's just had to turn down a job because killing people is beneath him. Instead, he has to death race just to beat his friends. Wes enters Nat's casino thinking he's gonna run a con on her, but something makes him hesitate, makes him slip up, and the chips he was going to take disappear without a trace. Only for Nat to find them in her pocket later. She doesn't remember putting them there, only thinking that she wanted them there. She decides to use them to hire passage to find the blue. You'll never guess who she ends up hiring. Oh, you already know. Wes and his crew. The agreement was for Wes to get her passage to the next port. But of course, Wes's and Nat's lives are intertwined, and they end up on the adventure of a lifetime together. They fight past the ice, through the RSA, and away from the hands of a slaver. The adventure only brings them closer together, until it tears them apart. They found the blue. They found Nat's home. They found the bearer of the voice in Nat's head, and with it, her destiny. She is not Natasha Castell, the New Vegas blackjack dealer. She is, and I'm going to say this wrong, Anastasia Decas Thalius, the resurrection of the flame, and the voice in her head is her Draken Manus. Nat isn't the only one with secrets from her past. She isn't the only one with magic. Wes has a younger sister. Eliza Wesson was taken from Wes and his family when they were just children. He hasn't seen a hint of her since. Nat, finding her Draken, drives Wes to find his sister, and he leaves Nat in the blue to look for hints of her. Wes isn't the only one looking for his younger sister. Link saves the long-eared girl in the forest, only for his younger sister to be taken by the bird instead. Errol's long ears draw the bird to her. As the Rito postman explains, it is only taking girls with long ears. It is taking them to the Forsaken Fortress where a great evil lives. Tetra, the pirate who fell from the sky, agrees to give Link passage there. Tetra doesn't go into the fortress with Link, but her voice does follow him. He discovers she'd slipped a stone into his pocket that she could watch him and talk to him through. She helps talk him through the fortress, and he reaches the room where his sister is. She's locked in a cell with 2 other girls, both with long ears. But the bird nests there and finds him. It grabs Link and shows him to the one who has taken control of the fortress, the Great Evil. Link is thrown out to the Great Sea and awakens to somebody speaking to him. Not somebody, something. It is a boat, the King of the Red Lions. It rescued Link from the middle of the Great Sea and brought him to a small island called Windfall. It is there that the King of the Red Lions tells him of Ganon, this great evil, and his story. Ganon was consumed by a desire for power, but was sealed by the very power he'd hoped to control. How he'd been unsealed is unknown, but only a power that Link must discover can take him down. And with a sail that Link can find on the island, he can go on an adventure to make that discovery and save his sister. Wes finds Eliza, but she's not the little sister he remembers. She's been away from him for too long. The magic inside of her is eating her up, destroying her soul. She wants to destroy the world, and she will start with Wes. In order to save the world, to save Wes, Nat must sacrifice her precious Draken. She doesn't succeed in saving Wes. She doesn't really succeed in saving anybody. She only saves the world. Link saves a world. For you see, there are 2. There are the Isles of the Great Sea, and then there is Hyrule, buried beneath the Great Sea. The 3 goddesses flooded that world in order to seal Ganon. That is the world that Link cannot save. The seal around it is broken when he destroys Ganon, and it is, at last, fully submerged. The Isles of the Great Sea is saved. Tetra, the final descendant of Zelda, is saved. And Errol, that little sister that started it all, is finally saved. And they get to live their lives back on the Great Sea together. While Nat, Wes, and their friends begin new lives in a New Vegas. The world is no longer frozen, but they were. They all died there at the end, and it was only with the birth of the new world that they were birthed again. But as Nat deals blackjack back at her casino, she has no memories of the adventures she went on, and when Wes walks in, it's like she's meeting him all over again.